Hey everyone, and welcome! Today we're jumping into a topic that really separates the good code from the truly great code. We're going to talk all about Python comments and how to go from confusing to crystal clear.
Welcome to Interview Audit. I'm super excited for today's explainer because we're digging into a skill that every single professional developer has got to master. Seriously, this is the kind of stuff that can make or break your code, your projects, and yeah, even your job interviews. So let me ask you this. Have you ever been handed a project or looked at someone else's code, heck, maybe even your own code from 6 months ago, and it just felt like trying to solve a riddle in another language? Just lines and lines of code with zero explanation? Yeah, it's kind of like being given a map that has no legend. You can see all the roads and symbols, but you have no clue what they mean or where you're supposed to be going. And that, right there, is exactly what code without comments feels like, a journey with no guide.
Okay, so let's fix that. Today, we're creating that legend. We're going to turn that messy, confusing map into a clear, guided tour, all by using the power of Python comments.
So what exactly is a comment? Well, at its heart, it's just a simple note, an explanation written in plain English that lives right inside your code. And here's the key part. The Python interpreter completely ignores it. It just sails right past it. It's 100% for human eyes.
Okay, so if the computer doesn't even see them, why should we care so much, right? What makes comments so incredibly important for writing professional-level code?
Well, here's why it's a total game changer. First off, comments are there to explain the tricky stuff, the why behind your logic, not just the what. This makes your code so much easier to come back to and update later on. It's also, the backbone of working on a team. But maybe most importantly, it just screams professionalism. It shows you actually care about writing clean, understandable code.
All right, let's get practical. First up are single-line comments. Think of these as your go-to for leaving quick, specific notes right where the action is happening.
And the syntax is about as simple as it gets. You just use the hash symbol or the pound sign, whatever you want to call it. Anything after that hash on the same line is officially a comment. Python will just skip right over it.
Now take a look at this example right here. We've got tax equals price times 0.085. Now, what on earth is 0.085? It's what we call a magic number. It just appears out of thin air with zero context. But with that one simple comment right above it, hashtag calculate the sales tax parentheses 8.5%, boom, the mystery is solved. Instantly, anyone reading this knows exactly what that number is for. It's clean, it's simple, and it's super effective. Okay, so what if a single line isn't enough? That's where multi-line comments come in. These are perfect when you need a longer explanation, or, and this is a really handy trick, when you want to temporarily turn off a whole chunk of code.
So here's a super clever technique that developers use all the time. By wrapping a bunch of lines inside triple quotes, you can basically tell Python to ignore that whole block. Technically, it just sees it as a string that isn't being used. So as you can see, that print statement inside the block, it's not going to run. But the total calculation right below it, that's going to work just fine. This is an amazing tool for debugging without having to delete your code.
All right, time to level up. Let's talk about what I think is the most professional form of commenting, docstrings. You should think of these as the official built-in instruction manual for your code.
Now you're probably thinking, wait a second, that looks just like the multi-line comment. And you're right, it uses the same triple quote syntax, but here's the crucial difference. It's all about placement. A docstring has to be the very first thing inside a function, a class, or a module. That special location is what lets Python's built-in help tools find it and treat it like official documentation.
And this is just a perfect example. We've got our function calculate_area, and right there on the very next line is our docstring. Double quote calculates the area of a rectangle. It's a short, sweet summary of what this function does. Now, any developer who uses this function can immediately understand its purpose without having to read a single line of the actual logic. But to write a really great docstring, you follow a simple structure. Think of it like a recipe. First, you start with a quick one-line summary. Next, you describe each of the arguments the function needs. And finally, you explain exactly what the function gives back, its return value. That right there is the gold standard for professional code documentation.
So let's pull all that together real quick. This is your commenting toolkit. Need a quick inline note? Use the single line hash. Trying to debug and need to turn off a block of code?
Multi-line triple quotes are your friend. And when you're writing a function or a class and need that official pro-level documentation, a docstring is always the right tool for the job. So this is all great for writing code. But how does this actually get you hired? Well, let's connect the dots. Because learning to write clean code is how you ace the interview.
Here are the key takeaways you should have in your head walking into any technical interview. Good comments explain the reasoning behind what you did. Using docstring shows that you think like a team player, that you care if other people can understand your work. And at the end of the day, interviewers aren't just looking for someone who can solve a problem, they're looking for someone who writes clean, maintainable code.
And look, don't just take my word for it. A hiring manager will almost always choose the candidate who writes clear, well-documented code over someone who writes a super complex algorithm that nobody can understand. That clarity shows true professionalism.
And I really want to stress this point. This is not just a Python thing. This principle is absolutely universal. I don't care if you're writing Python, Java, JavaScript, whatever. Clarity always, and I mean always, wins the interview.
So are you ready to prove that you can apply these principles under pressure? To actually practice this in a real-world interview setting, head on over to interviewaudit.com. You can sign up and practice your Java mock interview with our Interview Audit AI and really put these skills to the test.
And of course, if this explainer helped you out, do us a favor and hit that like button, drop a comment with your own thoughts, and definitely subscribe for more explainers designed to help you crush your technical interviews.
Before you go, I want to leave you with a question. Drop a story in the comments below. What's the single most confusing, uncommented piece of code you've ever had to deal with? I'd love to hear about it. Thanks for watching.